Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston, this is Station. We are ready.
NASA Communications, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call Station for a voice check.
Station, this is Courtney Beasley with NASA Communications. How do you hear me?
Good afternoon, Courtney. We've got you loud and clear.
I have you all loud and clear as well. It's great to see all of you, and thanks for joining us today for our On Orbit news conference. We'll be taking questions from the media on our phone bridge today, but before we get started, I'll toss it over to Commander Nick Hague for opening remarks. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, thanks, Courtney. So I think, as most of you know, there was a series of decisions that was made last July and August timeframe to balance the safe return of Butch and Sonny along with continuing the ISS mission. And one of those decisions was to modify Crew-9, the complement of Crew-9. And so in late September, Alex and I launched as a crew of two with 2 empty seats to come to the space station and rapidly integrate Butch and Sonny into Crew-9 and then continue to serve out the duration of Crew-9's planned time on orbit as members of Expedition 72. I say all of that just to set up 2 points that I'd like to start off today with. The first is that this mission, the mission of the space station, the scientific exploration, is something that we deeply believe in. Its ability to make a positive impact for all of humanity. And it's that belief that allows us to take those risks, risks of putting yourself on top of a rocket and launching into space, the risk of living on board an outpost that's orbiting in the cold vacuum of space, and even the risk of developing a new spacecraft to get us to and from the space station. And so the mission is very important to us. The second aspect that I wanted to touch on is just the privilege it's been to be able to bear witness to the professionalism that's been on demonstration every day, and the way that that Butch and Sonny have taken everything that's been thrown at them, and the way that they have responded to that has been an example. But it's not just Butch and Sonny. I think that the occurrences over the past year have actually impacted almost all of the members of the U.S. Astronaut Corps and our international partners and their families. And so there are ripple effects. And to see how that community has responded to this just makes me proud to be part of that legacy of dedicated service, part of that group. It's a privilege to be a colleague of all of theirs. And so that legacy, here in a few short days, Crew 10 is going to arrive, and we're going to hand the baton to Crew 10, and we are going to return to Earth at the end of a successful long-duration mission aboard the space station, performing that mission that we so deeply care about. And that handover will mark the continuation of a legacy that's been going on board the space station for 25 years. And so with that, we're happy to answer your questions.
Thank you, Nick. We'll go ahead and jump right into questions from our media. Just a reminder to press *1 when you are ready to ask your question. Our first question comes from Marcia Dunn with the Associated Press.
Hi, I'm hoping you can hear me. For Butch and Sonny, what's it like to wake up one day in space and find yourself in the center of a political story? I'm referring to the comments a month ago made by President Trump and Elon Musk regarding your return.
Obviously, we've heard some of these different things that have been said. I can tell you at the outset, all of us have the utmost respect for Mr. Musk, and obviously respect and admiration for our President of the United States. Donald Trump. We appreciate them. We appreciate all that they do for us, for human spaceflight, for our nation. And we're thankful that they are in the positions they're in. The words they've said, politics, I mean, that's part of life. We understand that. And there's an important reason why we have a political system and the political system that we do have. And we're behind it 100%. We know what we've lived up here. We know the ins and outs and the specifics that they may not be privy to. And I'm sure that they have some issues that they are dealing with, information that they have that we are not privy to. So when I think about your question, that's part of life. We are on board with it. We support our nation. We support our nation's leaders, and we're thankful for them.
Our next question comes from Emily with NBC News.
Hey there, thanks for taking my question. Butch and Sunny, your resilience and positivity really has shined through, but what has been the most challenging aspect about the changing timeline in space? And on the flip side, what will you miss most about space?
Hey, thanks, Emily, for that question, because immediately it brings to mind family and all the people on the ground who support us. So, you know, it's been a roller coaster for them, probably a little bit more so than for us. You know, we're here, we have a mission, we're just doing what we do every day, and, you know, every day is interesting because we're up in space and it's a lot of fun. So I think the hardest part is, you know, having the folks on the ground have to not know exactly when we're coming back. Know, of course, that we are coming back with Crew-9, but, you know, all of that uncertainty, I think, is probably the most difficult part. And, you know, it takes a little time just to have that conversation with them on a daily basis and say, hey, we're coming back before long, so, you know, don't make all those plans without me. You know, we'll be back before too long. And I think, you know, what are you going to miss about space? Everything about space. You know, this has been Butch and my third flight to the International Space Station. We helped put it together. We've been up here seeing it change throughout all these years, do a lot of science up here. I think just the fact that we're living up here in this very unique place gives you an amazing perspective, not only, you know, out the window, obviously, but also just on how to solve problems. I don't want to lose that spark of inspiration and that perspective when I leave, so I'm going to have to bottle it somehow.
Our next question is from Mark Strassman with CBS News.
Hey, everyone. Good to see all of you, talk to all of you. Look forward to seeing you back at home. I've got two questions. First one is for Nick and Sunny. Through no fault or wish of your own, this mission became political, also political back in the U.S., is this drive to downsize government, federal agencies, including NASA. Are you all at all concerned, try that again, are you at all concerned that your NASA teammates could be distracted by that push to downsize? And then, Butch, you get the easier one. We're all the product of our life experiences, and this extended business trip of yours certainly qualifies. What is your life lesson or takeaway from these 9 months in space?
So, Mark, I guess I'm going to start with the hard question as you defined it. You know, up here we're a little bit insulated from a lot of what's going on down on the ground, but one thing we're not insulated from is how the operational team is functioning. And so on a daily basis, on a you know, minute by minute basis, we're in contact with the ground. That team is supporting us, and it's not just in Houston, it's the entire NASA and you know, international apparatus that's supporting us. And that support from the first day that I showed up here to today has been unwavering, and we're firing on all cylinders.
Well, in answer to your question, I can tell you honestly, my feeling on all of this goes back to my faith. It's bound in my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. He is working out His plan and His purposes for His glory throughout all of humanity, and how that plays into our lives is significant and important. And however that plays out, and I am content because I understand that. I understand that He's at work in all things. Some things are for the good. Go to Hebrews chapter 11. Some things look to us to be not so good, but it's all working out for His good for those that will believe. And that's the answer. So thanks for asking.
Our next question is from Gina Sinceri with ABC News.
This question is for Sunny. Sunny, I was talking to some kids who were talking about Gorby's tattoos, and they want to know what dogs you have now, and have they missed you, and how much are you looking forward to seeing them when you come home?
Oh, that's a great question. I think, it's probably hardest, getting back to the other question, for my dogs, although thank God they don't really know time that well. But yes, I have two Labrador Retrievers right now, Gunner and Rotor, who have been having boy time with my husband, and I think they'll be very happy for Mom to come home. So I'm excited to see my labs when I get back. And yes, these were Gorby's footprints.
Our next question is from Lauren Grush with Bloomberg.
Hi, good to talk to you. This is for Butch and Sunny. Following up on the topic of politics, part of the discussion has been a claim that the decisions surrounding the timing of your return were influenced by politics, and that there was an option to come home earlier. I'm just wondering if you feel like politics influenced the decision, and would you have wanted to come home earlier?
From my standpoint, politics is not playing into this at all. From our standpoint, I think that they would agree. We came up prepared to stay long, even though we planned to stay short. That's what we do in human spaceflight. That's what your nation's human spaceflight program is all about, planning for unknown, unexpected contingencies. And we did that. And that's why we flowed, as Nick said, right into Crew-9, into Expedition 72, as we did. And it was somewhat of a seamless transition because we had planned ahead for it and we were prepared.
If I can add, when I launched in late September, our planned return date was the end of February. And given the amount of training that's required to get a crew ready and the complexities associated with getting a spacecraft ready to launch and operate in space, targeting a March return is pretty much on target.
Our next question is from Eric Berger with Ars Technica.
Hi, thanks very much. How is the condition of the International Space Station? How do you find it? There was a suggestion by Elon Musk that it could be deorbited earlier. Just wondering if you think the structural facility can hold up till 2030, and is there 6 years of meaningful research to be done during that time? Thank you.
Hey, Eric, great question. We've been up here since sort of the beginning. Like I mentioned before, Butch and I had been part of the construction of the space station with the shuttle flight. So yeah, we've seen it grow from just a couple modules to this amazing laboratory that it is right now. And I actually was extremely impressed coming up here and seeing how much science is going on, particularly when we have the resupply missions that bring up a lot of science. I mean, this place is ticking. It's just really amazing. So I would say we're actually in our prime right now. We've got all the power, all of the facilities up and operating. So I would think that right now is probably not the right time to say call it quits. We have probably till 2030 in our agreements, and I think that's probably really accurate because we should make the most of this space station for our taxpayers and for all of our international partners, and hold our obligations and do that world-class science that this laboratory is capable of.
Our next question comes from Katrina Miller with New York Times.
Hi there. Thanks for taking my question. On Sunday, NASA Administrator Janet Petro said that dominating space was a way to keep America first. And so I'm curious, as astronauts on the International Space Station, working closely with partner countries, how you feel about that type of rhetoric as opposed to space exploration as a benefit for all of humanity. Thanks.
Clearly, the International Space Station serves as an example of how you can work together on an international stage and accomplish something greater than any one country can accomplish on their own, regardless of how much that individual country is contributing. And so as we go forward, that's a lesson that I take from this is just the strength that you can achieve in that level of international cooperation. And endure a lot of things that we're able to fly above, while we're in orbit, and continue to just operate on a daily basis, doing good things, discovering things for humanity.
Our next question is from Mark Carreau with Aviation Week.
Thank you. I'd like to ask each of you what you believe your mission time on this mission is contributing to the overall objectives of having people in space all the time in orbit.
Hey, Mark. Yeah, great question. So, I mean, as it started with Butch and I mean, it's just the, getting new spacecraft, new technologies tested out, right? So that's how it started for us. And of course, for SpaceX Dragon as well, new technologies coming up to the International Space Station. The space station doesn't only, have docking ports. It also has technical demos, for future of exploration for other spacecraft. It has different types of science experiments that are helping us to figure out how we're going to go further in space, as well as helping a lot of people back on Earth understanding new technology. So, I mean, this space station, our contribution is being part of all of that science, from the rocket technology, the spacecraft technology, to the pharmaceutical, to the biology, to everything that's associated with living and working in space. It's a whole different perspective, a whole different way of thinking. And in my mind, it makes us think outside the box. And so that's why what I think our contribution is just being part of that, furthering that exploration.
Our next question is from Aaron Gregg with The Washington Post.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for doing this. So my question relates to Elon Musk has said that he made the offer to bring you guys back earlier and that it was denied. My first question is that true? And if so, what would that have looked like? Was he offering to make another flight, push seats on another flight? Could you give us some background there?
I can only say that Mr. Musk, what he says is absolutely factual. We have no information on that, though, whatsoever. What was offered, what was not offered, who it was offered to, how that process went. That's information that we simply don't have. So I believe him. I don't know all those details, and I don't think any of us really can give you the answer that you would be hoping for.
I'll be happy to direct any additional questions on this topic to a subject matter expert after this news conference. Let's continue to focus on this crew's mission. Our next question comes from Will Robinson Smith with Spaceflight Now.
Hi, thanks for taking the time to talk with us. Question for Butch and/or Sunny. You both have had the opportunity to fly on Soyuz shuttle, Starliner, and now you're preparing to return on Dragon. So wonder, now that you're preparing for your fourth time on a different spacecraft, what that preparation work has been like, and what that flow of training has been for you guys these past few months. Thanks.
I'll give the quick answer. It's been fascinating. It's been amazing. We feel so fortunate to train on 4 different spacecraft, and each one has its own unique capabilities, its own unique systems, its own unique seats, everything, suits. It's all been great, and to have that opportunity has been wonderful.
Yeah, I would agree with Butch. We've been really pretty lucky if you look at it and step back from, in our careers and see what interesting things that we've got to do. It's pretty spectacular, just like you mentioned. So coming home in this spacecraft will be a new chapter, and excited about it.
Our next question comes from Ashwarya with ESPN.
Thank you guys so much for taking the time. My question is for Sunny. Sunny, do you feel like you're saying one final goodbye to the ISS? And are you planning to leave anything personal behind?
Oh, don't remind me this might be my last flight. That's a little sad. I'm trying not to think about it too much, because like I mentioned earlier, being in space is just pretty spectacular. And, having the opportunity to come up here, I know we're very, very lucky. And having the opportunity to come up here 3 times has just been amazing. And, yeah, maybe there might be some hide and go seek for the for the next guys. Maybe they'll have to find something. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you where. They'll have to just find it.
Our next question comes from Robert Perlman with Collect Space.
Thank you. For Sunny and Butch, all the SpaceX Dragon suits we've seen worn to space and back have crew members' names embroidered on their right arm below their country's flag. How are yours configured? And Sunny, just curious, did Calypso, your zero-G indicator, go home on Calypso, or is it returning on Dragon like you?
So that Robert, for your first question, the answer is no. We were not down on the ground getting specifically measured for suits and stuff like that. So we have some generally generic suits that we've fitted into and tried out while we're up here. So no name, but that's okay. Hey, we're just Butch and Sunny, and everybody knows who we are by now. And secondly, Calypso, our gravity indicator went home with Calypso. The way it came up is the way it went back home.
And Robert, we do have Sharpies up here, so my suit might have a name on it.
Our next question is from Peggy with Journalist Financial Times.
Hello, thank you very much for taking my question. I wanted to pick up on something that was asked a little bit earlier. It sparked my curiosity about the main difference of flying the Starliner versus the Dragon. I mean, do you have any, I guess you haven't been on Dragon yet, but you've done the training. Can you sort of describe the differences that you see in the experience of flying the two spacecraft? And my second question is, would you be happy to fly on Starliner in future? Would you have been happy to fly home on it even, given that it came home safely?
I'll answer your second question, or your last question first. It had our teams back home that were in meetings for 3 months, looking at systems, doing tests. Had they said to return on Starliner, then we would have been happy to return on Starliner. That was not the case. Our roles are different in these spacecraft, obviously. Sunny and my role are different on Dragon than what it was on Starliner. We are just feel fortunate and thankful, though, that we have seats. And we'll be coming home, riding the plasma, splashing down in the ocean. So that's what we're looking forward to.
Our next question is from Sophie with Cosmic Chicago.
Hola from Chicago. So all three of you have now flown missions with significant anomalies. Sunny and Butch, as test pilots specifically, what do your roles look like, and what do you see as your contribution returning on a proven vehicle? And for Nick, since you've been through a launch abort, what role can astronauts on troubled missions take to further NASA's goal of human spaceflight despite challenges? Thank you.
Okay, I'll quickly address quickly because I think Nick has a lot more to say than I do. But just for our roles in this spacecraft, like Butch said, we're riding Dragon back home, right? We're Dragon riders. But I think what's really interesting about being test pilots is having the opportunity actually to see all these different spacecraft, contrast and compare, just like the space station up here as well. Pick out what's really good, what works well, what doesn't work well, and bring that experience and that knowledge back home as we continue on and make the next spacecraft and inform the next generation of astronauts what are good things to look out for, what are bad things to look out for. So I think that is really part of our role as Dragon riders.
I got one thing to add. Yeah, just one thing to add to that. A test pilot's role, primary role, is to prepare spacecraft, aircraft, whatever it is, for those that follow. And I think Sunny and I, even though we only rode uphill, we only did our tests uphill, I think we've done that for Starliner.
And so picking up with your question about, what is the role of an astronaut in an anomaly, I think it's the exact same role. It's actually the role that we are filling every day up here, which is we're always trying to find ways to make operations, to make life and make work on orbit run smoother and to work more efficiently and to help us get more out of the space station. and an anomaly going through something like a launch abort, you just are underneath a spotlight, and it's a very significant dynamic event, but you're still trying to help the teams understand exactly what happened and what can we do better for the people that are going to come after us.
Our next question is from Jackie with the Times of London.
Thank you. I wanted to ask all of you, what, in the time that you've been away from the planet, there have been some pretty seismic geopolitical shifts. I wondered from your point of view, looking down on the Earth, what kind of mulling over you have done about that and what you think is a very different world that your planet that you are coming back to. Thank you.
You know, most of the time when I go over to the window, that's when I start thinking about the Earth below me. And I can tell you in the time that I've been here, the time that I was here before, 6 years ago, the view hasn't changed, and the thoughts that I eventually get to really haven't changed, in that I see Earth as a small orb that's in a pretty big black vastness of space, and there's a lot out there. There are more stars than you can count, but the world looks pretty small when it's in that perspective. And as you fly from continent to continent, you don't necessarily see all of those borders. And the lesson or the realization that I always come away with is we have far more in common than we have in different. And those common things that we have bring us together, and if we're smart, those differences that we have are differences that we bring to teams like the International Space Station, and those differences make the team stronger.
Our next question is from Manuel with Exploration Especial.
Hello, how are you? Thank you so much. A question for both Butch and Sunny. I wonder what the future holds for both of you. I heard that maybe Sunny said that this is the last mission to the space station, but are you both willing to return to space in the near future?
Hey, we're going to the moon and Mars. Let's go. That's what my plan is.
I'll be right beside Butch if that's the case.
Our next question is from Marvin Marshall with Space Report News.
Hi, good morning, Crew-9. I'm Marvin Marshall from the Space Report News, a small independent outlet. I first want to thank you all for the sacrifice that you guys make for the betterment of humanity on a daily basis. My question's for all three of you. What are some fun items that you guys pack to take on your mission? And Butch and Sunny, were you guys able to get any extra, fun personal items up there? And thank you guys all again. It's an honor to speak with you, and safe travels home.
Okay, some fun stuff. I actually brought a card game. I didn't think it would work, but I actually got all the crew members to play a game up here, so that was a lot of fun.
One fun thing I brought up was some sheet music of the Space Force song. I'm still active duty Space Force, and this was a way to connect with my service.
We have naval aviator wings, naval aviator pilot wings, and you have the astronaut symbol in the center. It makes it naval aviator astronaut pilot wings. And I had a couple of those made in gold and then curled into a ring. And I brought them for my dad, my brother, a lady that did all of our scheduling, Michelle Beaujolais. I had previous missions. I had brought them up for my daughters and for my wife as well. So those are special. Something special to me are those wings. A lot of trial and effort, not just me, but by my whole family and others put a lot into getting those wings, and so they mean a lot. So be able to give those gifts back when we get back is a special thing.
And we have a couple of social media questions for all of you before we close today. Claire on Instagram asks if there are any parts of spaceflight that get harder as one ages that you might not expect.
He deferred to us. Actually, no. Spaceflight is wonderful. My joints don't ache, my back doesn't hurt, my neck doesn't hurt. It's fantastic. All those aches and pains go away.
Yeah, and I'll say sleep up here is pretty key. It's pretty awesome. So I like that aspect of it. So I wouldn't say that gets harder either. That's easy.
I see what you did there, Nick. Nicholas on Instagram asks, you inspire me to dream big. What was the most exciting part of your mission? And let's hear from all three of you on this one.
I can tell you there's a lot of responsibility in many ways up here, many times, very often. But the greatest responsibility that any of us have is when you put someone else in a spacewalking suit and they go out the door, because you're responsible to make sure everything's done correctly and that that suit performs to what it's capable of. I mean, it's a one-person space capsule is what it is. So when they come back in, and you open that hatch and bring them in, that's the proudest moment for someone.
I think for me, I'm looking forward to the moment that's coming up where I am going to get to bring Crew-9 home.
And I think for me is I'm classically looking out the window. We have had some amazing aurora while we've been up here. The sun's been really active, and it really puts you sort of in your place, and you recognize that the universe is extremely powerful, and what little part we are of it, as Nick alluded to earlier, it's just spectacular.
All right, well, those are all the questions we have for today. Thanks for all of your questions and your continued interest in NASA's SpaceX Crew-9 mission. The road to Crew-9's return begins with the launch of Crew-10 targeted for no earlier than March 12th. As you heard, there will be a handover period between Crew-10 and Crew-9, which will set the stage for Crew-9 to return home. In the meantime, you can follow updates on the Crew-9 mission at nasa.gov/station. Nick, Sunny, and Butch, thank you for your time today, and we're looking forward to having you home soon. Thanks for joining.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event. Thank you.
Thank you to all the participants. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.